Everybody, it's Tyler here at SCORE Signature Event, checking in 20605A First Class, who's had a great season so far. Triple Crown already earlier this year, and some great other awards to go with this, so congratulations on that. They're doing really well, so we're here day 2 of SCORE, currently ranked second, and we can't wait to see what they continue to do. This robot is all about quality and reliability. A lot of great things that go into this, so make sure you do pay attention as they go through on this robot here. Just so many things. It's built so well. We'll be talking about the Goal Rush mech, their intake, some of the different odometry and different programming on this. And like I said, just overall great quality as we tend to zoom a bit more in. We'll take a look at that. So let's learn more about this team here on Pits and Parts. Aldrin, let's break down this robot a bit more, starting with your intake overall. This is such great build quality. Walk me through it.
Sure. So what we really prioritize on our robot is quality over quantity. So a lot of our intake, as you can see, is double chained. So we have for our first intake roller, we have it double chained here. And we have double chains going down to we have one chain going to our counter roller. We have a double chain to our gearboxes that correctly gear our speed to our counter roller. And we also have our intake that is zip tied, because in previous competitions we've seen that we've had issues with chains breaking. So we really wanted to make sure that this intake would not break in any of our matches, so we could always be a reliable teammate and we wouldn't have to worry about anything happening to us in a match.
And we were talking earlier, you guys have not broken down yet in all the competitions you've been to, right?
No,
so,
we haven't yet.
Really cool on that. As you look, from that quality standpoint, looking maybe in the future competitions, any big changes you're looking at making, or are you just overall very happy with what you have?
Right now we're pretty happy with it. Overall, the robot only pulls 5 watts on the intake, which for the amount of chain, you would think we would have maybe 7 or 8 watts,
Sure.
but it's not bad. Going in the future, I do wish this intake would be a bit further out, because sometimes it does launch rings a bit more than we would like, but it is reliable. So, I can't complain with the reliability.
Part of that reliability is CADing up your robot ahead of time, and so you know how to build that. So Dave's talked to me about what you're doing for CAD, and then we got a lot of other great aspects to talk about on here.
Yes, so we use Fusion 360 to CAD. A big part of it is just making sure everything fits right. It took us about 6 hours to use to CAD our odometry pods. We are only 28 holes wide, which is very tough to build on this year. There's a lot of stuff that has to go in your robot. But having this odometry has allowed us to have more consistent codes. If the field tiles are newer, the odometry accounts for that, and we're never having to worry about if our robot's going to go over the line or to the wrong coordinate and mess up our opponent or our alliance auton. And then spacing with everything has just been a big issue because we're so small. CADing has allowed us to get millimeters of clearance where we need it, and has allowed everything to work flawlessly.
So what advice do you maybe have for teams who aren't CADing right now? Do you think it's a must-do, or what would you give it, a team who's never done anything with CAD before?
I think CAD is very useful. It takes a minute to get used to it, but once you learn it, it's a very good tool because you can use it in your notebook. You can use it to look back on things that didn't work, so you don't make those mistakes in the future.
And then you mentioned before with the odometry pods, this is something your team started working with a bit ago as well too. Any words of wisdom from utilizing odometry for other teams?
Just make sure that the pods that you build are frictionless. The rotation sensors have a lot of friction on them on themselves, so just keep the friction of the actual wheels themselves down, and it'll make your tracking very, very smooth.
And Eldrin, talking about something in autonomous as well too, you guys have a great Goal Rush mech on there, so walk me through how that's working in the match as you go to it, and do you have any complications with that, or has it just been working great for you?
Sure. So our stealer is something we implemented maybe a month ago, and when we were watching SIGs, we realized, hey, that third goal control is really, really important. Not only for autonomous, you can get an extra top ring, but also for match play. Having that third goal is a win condition in matches. So we decided to build a Goal Rush mech that we only use in auto, and when it does, it'll rush the middle goal during auto, and hopefully get control of it. We should be able to put a top ring on it during our autonomous code, and then that means, going right into match play immediately after auto. We are safe from, well, not really safe, but we do have third goal control, so we have an advantage over our opponents. We can let them play into our hands, so we can play our strategy a bit more.
Dave, just talk to me a little bit more about your match strategy, especially as you go in the teleop. How does that translate from auto? And then how are you approaching matches here? Has it changed at all at SCORE versus maybe when you're at Haunted or any other year events?
Haunted was a lot more of controlling your positive corner, as it was the 15-second rule versus the now 30 seconds. But having that third goal off when you start driver control is key because you can play those choke points, have your alliance just free from any stress, having them fill up a goal, just keeping the stress down for everybody, and just knowing that if something goes wrong, you have that third goal to fall back on.
We were talking earlier too. We were talking about your Lady Brown a little bit, and you're running a motor config that we're not seeing as much on other teams these days. So talk to me more about that.
So yes, we are still using the two 5.5 watts, and this just ensures that we have the same amount of power going to each of the arms. If you have just one shaft going, you can lose torque throughout the shaft. So one big thing we always preach on is consistency and reliability. If you can't score on the wall stakes in your matches, then you're not much of a help to your alliance. So if we have the same amount of power going to each of the arms, and we have that extra motor, if one fails, we can always fall back on that extra motor.
Well, First Class having a first-class performance so far here at SCORE, so we can't wait to see how you do throughout the rest of the event. Good luck here, and thanks for giving us a great walkthrough of your robot, and we wish you best of luck, of course, throughout the rest of the high-stakes season. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.